I've got the documents. They've admitted this. Well, the folks at ESPN have anyway. Welcome in to this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. As the draft plans for the Seattle Seahawks have been revealed to ESPN, and I'll say this before some of you come at me for saying, sure, yeah, you got the draft plans right from an ESPN article. Last year, this same exact type of article, ESPN told us from their sources Seattle was going to pick Byron Murphy from Texas, and they did. So they have a pretty good track record on this information, and it's twofold. Let's start with round one. This may not be the news people want to hear, but that's what we're here to tell you, what you need to hear on the program. And according to ESPN, they are saying, despite all the conversation, the talk about the Hawks drafting an offensive lineman in round number one, that you need to watch out for a wide receiver to be selected by the Seahawks with their 18th overall pick. Let's start with this from Matt Miller of ESPN, who writes the following. Seattle is in the midst of a roster makeover with 5 picks in the top 100. It has plenty of draft capital to do it. While the offensive line is an area the Seahawks are expected to focus on, expect them to be looking for a big-bodied receiver too. T-Mac could fill that need with their first-round pick. Now, I want an offensive lineman. I have been beating that drum for the last couple of months that I wanted Seattle to draft a tackle or a guard with their first-round pick. But if T-Mac is there, and at one point in time, some people had T-Mac projected to go top 5. If he slips all the way to 18, then you have my attention. It would be hard to say no to a player of this caliber if he is still around when the Hawks pick with that 18th overall selection. We'll tell you more here in just a moment, but first, a reminder, folks, our sub-battle continues in the lead-up to the 2025 NFL Draft. We have just over a week to go in our NFC Powerhouse sub-battle, and we have fallen behind, folks. We got work to do if we want to win this sub-battle against the 49ers report and the Cowboys report. If you want to beat the Whiners and the Cowgirls, you need to subscribe to the channel. We're bringing you up-to-the-minute draft coverage. We'll be live for the NFL Draft here on Seattle Seahawks Today, in addition to our daily news and rumors, our live shows twice a week, and breaking news, Q&A mailbags, and more. You got to be subscribed. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/SeahawksTV. Now, I got to tell you, as a former fat guy, I love me some sweets. I love desserts. I think everybody loves dessert. But you have to have your dinner first. All right? Grandma raised me right. Grandma always made a great dinner, and then we had dessert. And then we enjoyed our things first. And if you're the Seattle Seahawks, dessert sounds good. Having more skill position players like T-Mac and others, that sounds enticing. But you still got to have your main course and fix your offensive line. I think T-Mac will be a star in this league. I think he has all the makings to be an incredible receiver in the National Football League. But if you make this selection, can you have your cake and eat it too? Can you still fix the offensive line? I don't know if you can. And that's what makes this potentially dangerous if Seattle goes this route. Let's tell you more about T-Mac. Played for the Arizona Wildcats from 2022 to 2024. He was a consensus All-American and a first-team All-Big 12 selection in his first year in that conference in 2024. And might I add, he is Polynesian. He was named the Polynesian College Football Player of the Year in 2024. And here's the statistics that he put up. Just phenomenal. The last 2 seasons at Arizona in 2023 had 90 total catches for over 1,400 yards and 10 touchdowns and close to 16 yards of reception. Last year, even though it was a down year for Arizona, he still put up great numbers with 84 catches and one less game played and over 1,300 yards. His average was actually up 15.7 with 8 touchdowns, did have 7 drops. His scouting report goes as follows. He's a big frame pass catcher. He's smooth and fluid. He's got great run after catch ability. He's got an outstanding catch radius. Anything that comes in his way, he's bringing it in some way or another. Now, he does need a bit more urgency at the snap. You know, I was a track athlete in middle school and high school, and it helped me as a football player because it helped me get off the ball quicker. I don't know what T-Mac needs to do to kind of get out of his stance quicker, but if he could have more urgency, and that's a small thing with all the good that he brings to the table, if he can figure that out, he's going to be in very good shape. So, what do you think about this idea of going with T-Mac at 18 overall? Type D for draft, P for pass. Weigh in the comments section. Let us know what you think. In a moment, we're going to have more on Seattle's draft plans from ESPN of what they'll be looking to do with their other selections. But first, let's take a moment to tell you about today's sponsor. That is Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Game Time makes getting tickets faster and easier, even for hard-to-get playoff seats. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to tip-off. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets. Game Time is the official ticketing partner of Seattle Seahawks today, where their last-minute deals can save you 60% off buying last-minute for sports, concerts, comedy shows, theater productions, and more. Game Time Picks makes last-minute ticket buying easier than ever by quickly highlighting the best deals in the stadium. Save even more, my friends, when you choose a section and let Game Time choose the seats. They have their all-in pricing. Toggling this feature shows the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. You can get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. The lowest price is guaranteed, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. With Game Time, they offer their ticket coverage where your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Now, I know that they're talking a lot about NBA playoff games, and we miss the Sonics around here. I get that. But don't worry, there's still plenty of other events right here in Seattle, whether it's the Mariners, maybe you want to go to an event within the Pacific Northwest. We got it all for you. Choose the event you want to go to. They got the prices listed. Choose your seat, see if you like that seat or not, and then boom, just like that, you're checking out with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Now, as we move on past the first round, the next question then becomes that was posed by ESPN. How can Seattle, with having so many picks in the top 100, how can they earn an A draft grade? Can they get the talent they're looking for and also cover their needs at the same time? And what was brought up by Brady Henderson of ESPN, it's pretty simple. There's 4 positions that they need to focus on without reaching, without getting guys that aren't worthy of said pick. And the 4 positions that Brady mentions are the offensive guard spot, wide receiver, safety, and nose tackle. Here's more from Brady Henderson. The Seahawks need to find at least one difference maker for the interior of their offensive line. General Manager John Schneider has said it's hard to upgrade at center in this year's draft. So they'd earn an A if they add a standout guard and then address 2 of their other needs, another guard, a speedy receiver, a safety, or a nose tackle, all without having to reach. And if you're the Seahawks here, you got 5 picks in the top 100. A wise man once said, with great power comes great responsibility. And this is a golden opportunity ahead for John Schneider and Mike Macdonald and this scouting department to take care of these needs with cheap young players and get quality talent. I mean, it's not a reach, folks, to say that if you find the right guys, you could get 5 starters out of those 5 picks if you play your cards right in this draft. That's the opportunity that's ahead for Seattle here in this coming week ahead. What is the biggest need for the Seahawks in this year's draft? If you had to pinpoint it to one thing, what would it be and why? Get in that comment section. Let me know what you think that is. A couple more notes that I would also add on to this. Don't forget about the corner position either. All right? Rick Woolen, it's a make or break year for him coming up. We know Devin Witherspoon's going to be around for a long time. But outside of that, you got some major question marks. Josh Jobe, we've heard Mike Macdonald say that they would like some competition for him at the outside corner spot. Maybe you find that in this draft, but you could use some depth there. I think you have to address that. And then one other recent development, the quarterback position. We heard John Schneider say in recent weeks that he's embarrassed with their track record, or lack thereof, of drafting quarterbacks in his tenure there. And that was something that he wanted to change and wants to draft a quarterback. Well, now that you've signed Sam Darnold to be your starter, and you most recently signed Drew Lock, that seems to be unlikely now. I'm not saying they won't draft a quarterback, but I think that's kind of on the back burners at this point. Maybe you find somebody late in rounds 5, 6, or 7, but I don't think that's the priority for this Seahawks team heading into the draft next week. For continuing Seahawks draft coverage, subscribe now to Seattle Seahawks Today. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time here on the channel.